What's going on, YouTube? So today I'm going to be discussing how to shoot a wedding. But first, roll that intro. Now, that was a wedding that I shot like a couple months ago. My last wedding of the season, I guess you could say. Because we get winter down here and nobody really gets married around that time. So we have wedding season, I guess. But yeah, I have a list of 9 ways you can shoot a wedding and hopefully deliver a successful, beautiful wedding video. Now, number 1. First thing you're going to want to do is, obviously, you're going to get in contact with the client. You want to get in contact with the client. Sit down, meet with them both, the couple. Plan out the day. Ask them questions of how their day will go. Make sure you write it all down. You definitely want to have a contract ready. I'm not going to get into detail with like how your contract should be because there's all sorts of different contracts. The only advice I could give you is go online, look at a few different wedding contracts and pick and choose from each one of them what you think you would want in your contract and make your own contract. Make sure you have them sign that contract, take care of deposits or whatever it is that you need to lock in that date, and then move forward. Like I said, discuss how their day is going to go on, so forth and so on. So number 2, the next thing you're going to want to do is plan out your day. After meeting with the clients and discussing what it is and how it is they're going to do their wedding, from the information you get from them, you're going to want to plan out your day and how you want this video to come out. A wedding, it happens once for a couple, you know, unless people get a divorce, but then it's a different couple, right? Your main goal should be to turn this day into a story for them. And the day, pretty much based on how they have it planned, is the story. So basically your job is to capture that and edit that in a way where you make it look like a short film or a movie. So make sure you plan out your day, or make sure after discussing with your clients how their day is gonna go, you start to think and plan on your shots and how you're gonna execute these shots. Some people even go check out the venue before the day of the wedding so they can kind of get an idea of the location, where they're gonna shoot, what angles are they gonna shoot, things like that. Make sure you have a strategy more or less of how you're gonna shoot this day. But yeah, Number 3, make sure you bring all the gear necessary. Make sure all your batteries are charged. Make sure your memory cards are clean and good to go. And make sure you bring all of your audio equipment, your lav mics, your Zoom mics, whatever it is that you have for audio equipment. Some people may not have the luxury of having all of those equipments. Maybe you're just starting. If you're just starting, I'd recommend at least you go on Amazon, pick up a cheap lav mic and just have one of those going into your camera directly. So at least you're getting pretty good audio. And then as far as the rest of the gear, just make sure your batteries are charged. That's very important. Make sure all the batteries are charged. And if it's possible and they have like a little room where you could keep your equipment, have some more batteries charging if that's something you can do. Most of the time you're going to be on the go, so just make sure everything's charged. Me, a little tip, I have several power banks, so like once one battery is dead and I go to swap another battery, I got the other one in the charger ready to go. So like batteries are dying, but they're being charged and I got full ones on deck anyways. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4, make sure you show up as early as possible. Like I said, you're trying to make a story out of their day. So me, I'll let you in on a secret of mine. If I'm gonna make this wedding to be a story of their day, then I'm gonna you have to shoot it in that order of how their day went so they can remember how their day went. They're gonna watch the video and they're gonna be like, damn, I remember that. Yeah, that's what happened. But you also have to edit it in a way where, you know, it makes sense, and you want it to kind of look like a short film as well. But anyways, so like I said, basically you want to show up as early as possible because like I said before, this is supposed to be like a story of their day. So I'll let you in on a little secret of mine. It's a story of their day. So what I tend to do is I like to show up as early as possible, even when the venues or the church is empty, because that's the beginning, is the location. You know what I mean? Like that's a small tip depending on what it is you're doing. You know, some people, they're doing extra things when they're doing interviews or discussing stories of how they became a couple. But if you don't have any of that, you start off with the venue. The venue's empty. You get to record how it looks before the day has started. So you get your cool B-roll shots of all the way the place looks empty and the day is about to begin. So that's tip number 4. Basically, you just want to show up as early as possible, because if anything changes throughout the day, you're the first one to know. You can film whatever you need to film while the place is empty. And I mean, you don't show up to work late, do you? Show up early. Tip number 5, and I think this is probably the tip that most people are going to be interested in. What are you gonna be looking for when you're shooting? Okay, like I told you before, when you're shooting a video for a wedding, you're making a story of their day, of how it went. So from the beginning, this goes back to showing up early. From the beginning, when the place is empty, all the way to the end, maybe till everyone's leaving if you want to stay that late. If not, it's okay. But from the beginning to end, that entire wedding is that entire day is the story of that day, obviously. And whatever order the day happens is the story. But the trick is to make sure you capture every detail throughout that day. Make sure you capture every detail throughout that day. I mean, from flowers to the wall to kids running around, every little detail you can possibly think of. This is where it comes to your videography skills and being creative with what you can capture. Every detail matters. Like, every single detail matters. And it also goes back to my last tip of making sure you have your gear on you, because your memory cards are going to get full if you shoot as much as I do as far as capturing details. Like, everything matters. So just try to get as creative as you can. Use every object in the room and try to be discreet. Just remember to be as creative as possible with everything. Observe the place. This is why it's good to show up early as well, because you could really look at the location and say, hey man, I could probably shoot from that corner or from behind this vase that's on the table. I don't know. You just got to get creative with it. I'm kind of nuts, so I get pretty weird with it. So I can't tell you how to be creative. You have to do that on your own. But just remember to be as creative as possible and capture as much detail as possible. You want to make the couple feel like they were there every time they were watching it. So make sure you get detail of everything that day, everything in the room. Hell, even go in the bathroom and fucking film the toilet water. I'm just kidding. Don't do that, but you get what I'm saying. Tip number 6. If you're hired just to be the videographers, try not notice really quick. Notice that I use a S because I said videographers. If you can help it, if you can, try to have a second person. I didn't put that on the list. Maybe I should have made that number 10, but I got 9. If you can help it, and if you have the tools and the extra help partner, bring a partner. It's better to have 2 people. You can make it happen with 1 person, but it's way better to have 2. So just saying. But anyway, back to it. Try to be respectful, because if you're the videographer and they hired another company as photographers, try not to get in their way. I know sometimes we want to capture our shots, but look at where they are and then think of another angle so you're not in their way. It's tough sometimes because sometimes they'll have 2 photographers, or they could have 3 if they're getting nuts. So, you know, it may seem like you guys are kind of fighting for angles, but try to be respectful to each other and try not to get in their way. You don't want to be in somebody's wedding beefing with the photographers. Like that's just not cool at all. So just be respectful and make sure you let everybody, you know, if they want to get a shot, and then if you want that same angle, respectfully, when they're done, you say, hey, can I get in there so I can get a shot too? You know, just be cool, be respectful to the photographers. It's just as important for them to get those photos as it is to you to get this video. So keep that in mind and be respectful to these dudes. Number 7, this one's kind of important as fuck, actually. Number 7, always, I can't stress it enough, always be fucking ready. Like, you better be ready for shit. Let me tell you something about it. There's wedding rehearsals, but there's not wedding videography rehearsals. People don't plan, you know, we don't do fucking, there's no takes for this shit. This shit is run and gun, is like the definition of run and gun in this motherfucker. Be ready. I can't even stress it enough. You need to be ready for everything. The bride and groom, they're gonna be moving, they're gonna be dancing, they're gonna be walking aisles. They're not gonna wait for you. They're hiring you because they're expecting you to capture everything perfectly. They're expecting that. So just, I'm not trying to scare you or put pressure on you, but just be ready. Be ready for this shit, because they're not gonna stop and say, hey man, you ready? I'm gonna walk. I'm walking now. No, they ain't gonna do that shit. They're just gonna move. They're just gonna continue on the day. They're on a schedule, so they have to get this done. So just be ready. Be ready. Make sure, like, all right, the bride is about to come up. Look at your battery meter. Make sure that thing is up there, because last thing you want is to be like, yeah, they're walking down the aisle, and then your camera dies. You don't want that. Be ready. Number 8, which should have been part of, I forgot what number it was. I think whatever number it was, with making sure your gear is ready, actually. But number 8 is, don't experiment with shit. Like, don't be at somebody's wedding trying to experiment, like, oh, let me try this setting or this picture profile. Make sure your camera's ready. Make sure your picture profile is wherever you want it to be, whatever you want it to shoot, S-Log, PP7, whatever it is you prefer, do what you want, but just make sure that shit is set up and is ready. And if you're more comfortable with shooting manual focus, shoot manual. If you're kind of new and not too comfortable with manual focus and you want to shoot on autofocus, do whatever it is you're more comfortable with and you know that you're going to execute with, but just be ready. Have your camera ready, have it properly set up. The last thing you want to do is be editing or sitting there in your computer in post and then be like, oh, I shot this at 60 frames, I meant to shoot it at 24. That's gonna suck ass, and you're not gonna be able to do that again or capture that again, because guess what, that's over. Just make sure you have everything ready to roll on your camera, so you don't want to fuck up. So don't experiment. Make sure you got everything set up cool, and you'll be good to go. Last but not least on the list is number 9. Could have been number 1, to be honest, but I feel like there's quite a few videos on YouTube about things like this, but something not too many people cover is be respectful to your clients. First of all, they're giving you business, okay? Just be respectful to them. Like, some people, they have different attitudes. Some people just carry themselves different ways. Some people might come off like they're mean, but be professional, sweep that under the rug, and be respectful to your clients. Another thing is, a lot of people, when they're looking for a videographer, they go online or they do whatever they can to look up what they think looks the best. And say they come across your work and they think it looks phenomenal, they're gonna hit you up, but they don't know you. So they're gonna have questions, concerns. They're scared, they're nervous. They don't know if you're gonna take their deposit and then just run off with it. Like, be respectful and try to, you know, like, ease them into this. Let's not all pretend here like we don't know that it's expensive to get a video done for your wedding. You know, it's a lot of money you're putting up, and you don't want to be like, yo, what up? I do videos. What up? You know what I'm saying? I got you. I'll do you a video. Feel me? I'll shoot your wedding. Yeah. They're going to look at you like, what? Oh, this guy's work looks great, but he talks like a jackass. Be respectful, be professional, and be cool with your clients, and they'll love you. You never know, they fucking have kids and they have another, or just say, you don't know if the couple has grandkids. Maybe their grandkids are gonna get married. They'll hit you up, or maybe their friends are gonna get married. You know, just be respectful to people. That's very important. To me, that's very important. I'm always cool with everybody, not just clients, but everybody. I try to be cool with everybody. Just be cool. Well, those were my 9 tips on how to shoot a wedding. Hopefully this video was informational to you. It helped you out. There's so much, like, my mustache is itching, sorry. There's so much, if there's something else that you have a question on, just drop it on the comments below. Hell, if it's a good enough question where I think I can make a whole episode out of the question explaining it, and I will do so. But for now, if it's just a quick question, just drop it in the comments below. I'll answer it. I'll leave it there for now. Good luck to everybody out there getting into any sort of videography, but if you're getting into weddings, I happen to think it's a pretty fun gig. It's cool, and you know, I love to film, so it's whatever. I'll film whatever. I'll film somebody taking a dump. Hit the like if you like this video and it was informational to you and it helped you out. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell once you hit subscribe so you can get notified every time I post a new video. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for watching.